Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Kagekaze's Domain. I am here with Diablo 3 and patch 14 of the beta, and we're going to go into the monk, as the monk looks to have a couple new skills just like the barbarian. But we're not going to delve right in just yet, because there's a couple things I wanted to check out here and kind of show you guys that I haven't covered yet. First of all, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch my hero here and show you one thing in case any of you hadn't heard or noticed. You'll notice I have two characters with the exact same name. This is completely possible, and they've stated that they don't plan on changing this. It's because of the name has unique identifiers behind it, kind of like our battle tags. I go by Kagekaze, but I've got a number string behind my name to make it uniquely me. And the same is with these characters, I imagine, although we probably won't be able to see the name in the background. Another feature is that you can delete and recover your characters. So here I'm going to go ahead and delete the level 11 because I don't need him anymore for now. I'm going to go just hit delete. Of course, that's are you sure? And there we go. Now, down here in the lower right, you'll notice right next to delete there's a restore. You may restore only the most recently deleted hero, so I'm going to go ahead and hit that, bring back that one, and you'll notice it goes away. So you can only go back one. It's only a level 1 undo button, so don't go deleting a whole bunch of characters thinking you're going to bring them all back. So before I move on, I'm going to bring up this guy. This is my level 11, and show you a little quirk of the beta right now. Some of you may have seen this. Let me go ahead and change the quest to Black King. Alright, now you'll look at my bars here. What I'm going to show you is I have a couple abilities that I'm not actually supposed to have because of the way they've shuffled around skills. I have Mantra of Evasion, which is now only unlocked at level 19, so that's a change I was not expecting. But it's still in my bars, and the same thing with Exploding Palm. This is unlocked at level 13, and yet this character you'll notice is only level 11. Since they are on my bars and they move things around, they are allowing you to keep the skills because it's easier to do that than to try and code something that says, oh, you're really not supposed to have this skill. Simply because when the game comes out, they don't expect you to be able to change these around. So here you can see I can activate the mantra, and I can use the Exploding Palm. So I do have the abilities. They are actively on my bars. The moment I remove them, they're gone. I can't get back to them because I can't get, well, I can get to the level 13, but I can't get back to them because I don't have the level requirements yet. Alright, so I just wanted to show you that real quick. I'm going to go ahead and leave this game. And we will remove our former monk here. And we're going to start the new one. Alright, now the monk, like the barbarian, has been given the benefit of having a 30% passive damage reduction. What I will show you real quick here while this kind of loads up if it needs to. You'll notice here that your damage reduction under your defense is only showing about a 13.79. That 30% will not be listed here. Don't know if they're going to add it. As of right now, the last post was it's not listed in the sheet. They did not say one way or the other if they'll put it in there. Again, this damage reduction happens at the same time as other damage reducing effects like armor, but it is prior to shield block, so block will happen afterwards. Something affecting the monk specifically, it actually affects all classes and all characters, but the reason I say specifically the monk is the monk has skills like Breath of Heaven, which is a healing ability. These healing abilities have been nerfed by 50%, and I did talk about that just a little bit when I was going through and playing on the barbarian. But I wanted to go ahead and mention that now. There have been a few other changes to the monk, and most obviously skill changes that I was not aware of. So this is going to be kind of a unique, almost like a first run experience for me, I'm pretty sure. So what I'm going to do here is kind of go over and let's take a look at what we're not going to get anymore. Notice mantras has been put down here as the 4 slots, so all of our passive mantras, and I'm going to go into that, the evasion, retribution, healing. Of course I can't put it on this slot, but I can't modify the right one yet. But Mantra of Evasion was given to us much earlier. I believe right here where Techniques is now. So we're not going to get any of these passive abilities in this beta anymore. So they're going to look like they're going to focus on giving us more active abilities, and then later on in the game we'll be able to get these. So it looks like Focus, Cyclone Strike will still be unavailable to us. Only got that on patch 10 that I was able to try. Dashing Strike has been moved way up the chain at level 9. That was a very early ability, no longer so. So I'll miss that for a while. And anything that they decided to take away from us? No, but we will be getting Wave of Light, and that's what I will be looking forward to. One thing that I'm going to go over real quick with this monk is that they've removed 2 of our spirit generators. We used to have a total of 6 spirit generators. 2 of those spirit generators have been redesigned to be spirit spenders. One of which we'll get to play with, that's Exploding Palm. The other of which was a later ability, and I'm not sure if we'll get to play with it on this beta, but we didn't have it before. Alright, let's go ahead and get the experience gear that I've been holding on to. It's 10.5, 7.5. I don't want to be doing that much damage just yet. Alright, I've got quite a bit of gear here, as you can see, for different situations. So first and foremost, we'll go ahead and get this dagger on. And what I might do is just to kind of simulate the lower levels, because you know that was normal. This is a 3.0. I'll go ahead and dual wield with that to kind of lower it a little bit. Won't be by much. You know what? No, because all it does is make every other attack weak, and I don't need that. So I'll go ahead and put on the shield for experience. I can't use any of these, but I can use that +4. +2 pants. I'll go ahead and zoom in as I put stuff on so we can see the changes in the character. Some boots. Oh, I had 2 shields that I didn't realize. Okay, +1 on the belt. There we go. We are looking good to go. Rather sexy. Let's just sell these things.
A right good bunch of things for you this Friday.
Alright, let's go help out Leah, and we'll go over our skills when I hit level 2. This book is here from the beginning now.
Are you Leah? Rumford said you survived the fallen star.
I did. I came back here to rally the militia. Watch out! The wounded are turning!
Utah has raised me to new heights.
This is killing business.
The dead will
I will send them back to their graves. I will save your town.
Thank you. You should speak with...
Alright, and it looks like we're getting Lashing Tail Kick as our first ability here. So we'll go ahead and put that on for now. And we'll just go over the abilities real quick. First ability is Fists of Thunder. Unleash a series of extremely fast punches. Deal 110% weapon damage as lightning. Every third hit deals damage to enemies in front of you and knocks them back. Honestly, I don't think you really need me to go over these as much as I have before, because they're mostly the same. In the case of Fists of Thunder, the damage was increased from 100% to 110%. So there has been a slight buff to that. So we do a little bit more damage right out the gate. That's really that's nice to see. Lashing Tail Kick, 200% weapon damage. I do not believe that has been changed. I'm just double checking. So no, a nice knockback ability. So we'll just continue on.
Militiamen went out. Only Rumford came back.
I will help you fight the risen dead.
I admire your courage, but...
That will not be my fate.
Well, I have seen you fight. Stop! They're attacking the barricades! That's one of the wretched mothers. There are more of them in the ruins down the road.
So as I've already pretty much gone over the other characters at least twice, the monk I've done for 10 and 13, and now 14. I'm pretty sure there's not going to be too much I'm going to have to add to these. So for those of you that have appreciated the commentary, unfortunately they'll probably be a little light at this point, and of course those of you that prefer not to have commentary will probably like it a little more. But I will try and go over things as they seem to be important, as they come about.
Longer.
And there we have level 3, and we are already getting to play with Deadly Reach. So Deadly Reach, much as before, 110% weapon damage over a distance. Third hit does 25 yards. Difference here is that Deadly Reach has, just like Fists of Thunder, been buffed from 100% to 110%. As you can see, both of them still have the same spirit generation. All 4 of these spirit generators are 6 spirit per attack. That is something else they've also changed here, is you actually have all 4 spirit generators here in the primary attacks now. They've been moving things around, things feel a little better, the categorization makes a lot more sense based on what I'm seeing. So for example, Wave of the 100 Fists used to be a technique. So now it's all spinders. So all 4 of them here, because again, 2 of them have been changed. So that's nice to see. It makes it a little more logical.
I must wait to use that ability.
Okay, that's the first time I've gone into the damn cellar and have absolutely nothing be there. So what I am looking forward to here with the monk is to see how different he's going to feel with the new damage increase. The barbarian, I came close to dying a couple times, and the barbarian favors strength, which gives you natural armor, and thus damage reduction. The monk does not have that. The monk, instead of getting damage reduction, gets damage avoidance in the form of dexterity and giving you dodge. Not that I had a lot of strength gear on my barbarian, but the stat allocations as you level up would be more strength per level on the barbarian compared to this character getting dexterity. I already miss being able to teleport around the field with dashing strike. Oh, more gear. Let's put it on. And this is a rare piece I found in the field here, which is kind of interesting. Has strength, dex, and intelligence on it. So it can be useful for any class. But mainly got it for the experience on it, of course. Slightly different set now, not as colorful. I find it interesting how many armor sets are out there. There's a post on Diablo fans regarding the art from the GDC, where they kind of showed off some of the high-level sets that you could get. And of course, the thing to remember on those was they only showed like one set per class, and we don't know how many different sets there are going to be at the end. There's looking like there's going to be quite a few. So if you don't like the aesthetic look of one, you can always get a different set. Of course, that might be tough because of, you know, random loot drops. But hey, there's always the clear die. If you don't want it to show up, you can get rid of it that way.
The ruins of old Tristram. The shadow of Diablo still hangs over this place.
Thank you for your help.
Nor should she. I will help her find him. Come.
We'll need to open the cathedral first. You know it's not polite to go through other people's things, don't you?
I was not expecting her to say that when coming into Kane's house.
We have come at last to Tristram's old cathedral. This is where Diablo, Lord of Terror, first corrupted mankind. This is where I may finally find the answers I seek. Leah worries after my safety, but I believe information vital to defeating the last lords of the burning hells can be found here.
This is my room. Do you like it?
Apparently she doesn't get miffed about you being in her room as a male character, but she does get miffed if you go into Kane's room. All right.
A miracle has happened. A hero, like one out of Uncle Deckard's tales, appeared and saved us. I know in my heart that my uncle still lives, and I pray that the hero will bring him home safely. Here, let me open the gate. Adria was my mother, but I don't know much about her. She died when I was very young. I was raised by Uncle Deckard.
What happened to your father?
I'm told he was a great warrior who was lost when Tristram fell to the demons. Look! A hidden cellar! Follow me!
Your mother's secrets are here.
People said she was a witch, but I never believed it.
Well, that worked. I used Lashing Tail Kick to keep him at a distance and just tried to hit him with the third strike of Deadly Reach. The first two, I actually think the first two might have been hitting him, but I was more worried about the third one hitting him, trying to avoid damage there. Didn't really take a lot. And looks like they've decided to give us our defensive ability of Blinding Flash. So we get that not as soon as we had before, but that's alright. Changes to that? None that I'm aware of. That's alright, Flash of Light blinds enemies within 20 yards for 3 seconds. Let's go ahead and put that on.
Here's the key.
I will find
Thank you.
Aiden came to me last night. I suspected what was lurking within his troubled heart. I consoled him as best I could. Regardless, wherever he's headed, hell will surely follow in his wake. The shadows close in on Tristram once again. But like Aiden, I'll be gone before they fall.
Alright, I've got most of my experience gear on now. I thought I had a wrist piece with experience. I guess I was wrong. Or maybe I accidentally got rid of it. No big deal. Alright, so I was just kind of looking to see what our choices are. You know, at level 4 here, we basically have the choice between the quick ability that generates a lot of spirit and the long reach. And of course, since, well, now that I have a second spirit spender, might be more worth considering using the one that generates a lot. But of course, as we know, the monsters don't hit very hard. Don't exactly need to make that distinction right now. But this isn't a bad beginning build. You know, they give you a generator with reach, they give you the kick to knock things back in order to use your reach, and then they give you a defensive ability for if things get hairy, you can just blind everything. So as kind of a teaching tool, if you think about it, the order that I've learned these skills
Tristram Cathedral.
is not too shabby. It says a lot that you can teach kind of the way a class would play by selecting certain skills in the order you give it to them, and I think that's why we're seeing so many changes to the skill order that we're learning in this beta, is they want to pick abilities that feel right as you're leveling and are maybe not too complex. You know, for example, not giving you mana regeneration runes at the beginning of the game, simply because you don't really need to regenerate mana at the beginning of the game. You're going to be more focused on spending it. And then they start giving you the runes that'll help you recover mana later on, because that's when you start needing it. So in this case, they make sure that you have, you know, a generator, a spender, a defensive ability to help you along. He was immune to that. And it's probably for the best that they didn't add dashing strike so early. While it was something that I enjoyed using, dashing strike is kind of a little more advanced. I mean, not terribly so, because obviously you're still going to get it at level 9. But you think about it, that's level 9's near the end of the beta. That's when by the time I'm going to get to the Skeleton King. So I'm not going to be able to have dashing strike for quite a while. Which kind of reinforces it again being what they consider a slightly more advanced skill. And that makes sense, you know, if someone hasn't gotten used to using an ability like that, they're going to probably be more focused on their damage dealing abilities or maybe their defensive abilities.
And I'm cursed. Once the captain of King the Oryx army, I lived only to honor my land and my king. No man has a greater love for his king than I had for mine, even as I drove my blade through his dark and corrupted heart.
Still don't think to use Lashing Tail Kick that often. Its range is fairly short, so I just don't really think about it. Hey, the black mushroom pack.
Those are large mushrooms.
I already have one of these in my stash, but I'd heard that these can spawn. We'll see if they stack. I'd heard that they could spawn here in the dungeon, and that's the first I've seen of it. I already have a 9.1 weapon. That's amazing to me. 2 to 3 fire damage. I got a 9.1 early. And usually you get like these 5.2s, so I don't feel too bad about having that high-end weapon anymore. Ooh, hey, a bow with experience. Let's hold on to that for the Demon Hunter, shall we? That'll work. Okay. Sorry about that. Don't mean to be fiddling with the inventory too much. No, that's not exactly fun to watch. I said it before, I'll say it again, I really do like the range of Deadly Reach. Really gets out there. And here we go, we're starting to see the larger packs. Oh, Tempest Rush. That's a lot earlier now. So we don't get Dashing Strike, but we do get Tempest Rush, and that does make sense because it is movement oriented, and I do like that. I think I would rather have it than Lashing Tail Kick. Just making sure there's no changes to it that I see. No. Well, yes, actually. An undocumented change wasn't in the patch notes. Looks like they reduced the spirit cost of it. It used to be 15 and it's now 10. Oh, I see. Maybe it was 15 over time, and then they, because I notice here it says it's 15 plus additional 10. Of course, my notes could be wrong. I'll just go ahead and put that on. I like that. I like that. Like I said, I haven't really been using Lashing Tail Kick. It's a nice ability for when mobs get near you and you want to push them back. But I often don't tend to think of it. And then here I can just use this, and you notice, honestly, it only does, where does it say, 50% damage, so 50% weapon damage at this point is not a lot of weapon damage, so you're only seeing like ones. But it's an excellent escape mechanism. Far better than Lashing Tail Kick, if you're trying to get away. Because you can just knock them out of the way, you run through them, not a big deal. I'm actually kind of surprised they've only given us 3 of these secondary abilities. And you'll get them fairly early on. For example, a Wave of Light will be 12, and there's only 3 here. Hey, it makes a great barrel breaking ability, doesn't it? See, this is great if I get surrounded, and combining it with Deadly Reach is a good combo as well. Because then if they get close to me or if enemies surround me, I can just get past them, turn around, and start using my abilities. And since they're slowed from being hit by Deadly Reach, and there I could use Tempest Rush to get into the center of a group. Just keep in mind, monsters take up space in the game world. You can't just walk past them. That's why Tempest Rush is a great ability, because it knocks them out of the way. You go right through them. Oh, hello. And you'll see here, this teleporter was only stunned for a brief second, but he still maintained the secondary part where he had a chance to miss.
It was Lazarus. Of that I am certain. He alone had the king's ear, and whispered dark and evil magics into it, instilling the notion of an imminent attack by Westmarch. Afraid to speak against the Archbishop, the councillors nodded their empty heads in agreement, and sent us off to die.
But I do like that, so if there's a big group, you see a big group coming, and what some characters have to do if they've got like an AoE ability, they might only be able to hit the first wave of the enemies coming in. Whereas with Tempest Rush, I could easily just go right into the center of the group and just blind them instantly.
Oh, minions, stay back! Back!
Hey, I will save you!
Back to your grave!
It was not your time, old man. Come. Leah is waiting for you.
Oh, it is wonderful to hear that Leah is well. I feared the worst. I learned of this secret passage through old maps. We must discuss the fallen star.
Oh, I did have some bracers here, and it looks like I had pants with +2. Okay, that's the old one. So, alright, I can go ahead and put on the bracers with additional 4, and I can put those away and that away. Still surprised that I found that powerful of a weapon right away.
I promise, Marco.
Uncle!
Thanks to you.
Time runs short. Tell me what you know of the fallen star.
Not much, I'm...
Please, Uncle.
My understanding grows.
And we have a level. Level 6, first rune, Bounding Light. So it looks like we'll be going back to Fists of Thunder for now. Bounding Light looks like that had been changed. Bounding Light, every third punch releases a chain lightning instead of knocking enemies back, and each lightning strike inflicts 73% weapon damage as lightning. That was buffed from 67 to 73. Not a major buff, you know, but just enough, just a little bit. So it's nice to see they're thinking of it and balancing it.
The skeleton he lost.
Nonetheless, the Skeleton King bars my path to the fallen star.
The key.
Sometimes I wonder why such minor changes, you know, incremental changes happen, but yeah, cannot be sold. I half wonder if these, see, there's my other one. Is it stackable? No, it is not. Oh, well, I've got 2 mushrooms now. I have wondered if they're going to be used for some kind of special event, or who knows, maybe the new secret level will have something to do with them. I'm kind of doubtful on that, but can never tell for sure, right?
Blacksmith. Not now. It is regrettable, but it must be done.
Thank you. Follow me.
So I still prefer Deadly Reach, but there is something to be said about the AoE of something like Fist of Thunder.
I'm sorry. This must be done.
I was trying to see if I could get the lightning to proc without actually hitting a monster. Looks like the third hit actually has to connect.
My love, forgive me.
Hedrick, help me.
As it happens, I am looking for King Leoric's crown. Perhaps you know of it.
I can help you. You'll find his tomb in a cemetery in the Weeping Hollow. And if you see my fool apprentice out there, tell him to get back to town.
Should I tell him? He's dead! Oh, he went away. Just kind of phased out. That's weird. There is a slight graphical effect here. I don't know if you can see it when I encode it, but there's kind of a waving... I think that's just the grass. So transparent, it's hard to tell.
There's a big pack coming this time. Stand your
Right in the middle, blind. Those guys were pretty quick movers. Notice I'm finding primary stats a lot sooner now too, that +5 dex. Looks like they took that off the low-level crafting items, but they put it on the drop items instead. So the crafting items are still nice, but drops are still going to be a little bit better.